Eyewitness News, sir.
Good evening, Sander, but I think we should correct. I'm not a critic of the GoldBod. I have filed a private member's motion asking for a public inquiry into the $214 million loss. Respectfully, I'm not sure that makes me a critic of the GoldBod.
I thought you critiqued the work of the GoldBod, which led to the loss you talk about. Is that not?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't done that. What we've done is to request for public inquiry and to understand the circumstances under which those losses were occasioned.
So you have not said that the loss is wrong?
Neither have I said that it is right. What we have said is that, as a matter of fact, contrary to the earlier denials by the government, there has been a $214 million loss. In fact, we estimate it at around $300 million. And because the government agencies were denying, we have asked for a public inquiry to ascertain the circumstances that led to that loss and to also come up with the remediation measures for it.
I see. Let's move forward. The Bank of Ghana is announcing tonight now there's going to be a review, and that review of the domestic gold purchase program, does it appear to be a preemptive move to what you're asking for, or what you are asking for can happen while what the Bank of Ghana is doing can also proceed? Can the two happen together?
I think the two can happen together. I earlier also, if I heard the governor right, admit that the exercise came at a cost. Now, you would realize that after the IMF issued the definite statement that there had been a loss, the Bank of Ghana initially suggested that it was speculative. That's the word they used. It was speculative. And the GoldBod, on the other hand, also said that they had not made a loss. So the same government agencies that had represented to the International Monetary Fund that there was a loss were now telling the domestic market back home that that was speculation. In fact, that was one of the major bases on which we have requested for the public inquiry. Now, I notice both organizations are backtracking. In the case of the GoldBod, they are trying to suggest that, yes, even if there's a loss, that loss is lower than previous year's losses. By the way, that's not true. And in the case of the Bank of Ghana, tonight I hear the governor saying that there was a cost. And then they want to see how they can make reforms for the future. I think it is important to be candid. As at now, we have about a $300 million loss. It's important to understand the circumstances under which that loss was occasioned and then to come up with the remediation measures. And one of the most important institutions that can do that is Parliament, acting on the powers of the Constitution and the standing orders. And we are looking forward to, Mr. Speaker, considering the motion that we have made available. If internally, and indeed, if you look at the IMF's fifth review report, they encourage the Bank of Ghana to come up with some reforms so that the kind of losses that they are incurring under the new structure, those losses are kept. If internally they want to start preparing some documents that they can appear before Parliament with, I think that will be helpful.
But I have heard the governor also say that there's going to be some team that will do some kind of review. If you are invited to come and submit your misgivings to that team for some forensic of a sort audit to be done, would you be open to that or instead of going to through the parliamentary route?
There cannot be any higher team, platform, forum, or committee for the purpose of oversight of the executive than the Parliament of the Republic.
I see. Now that the governor has announced a review, would it be fair to say they are a listening government and they are worth taking some plaudits for?
Officially, the government, through its two agencies, has told us that this loss is speculative. I have not heard them actually first conjure up and admit the loss. Secondly, provide all the information about what occasioned the loss before this third conversation about a review. And I am of the firm belief that the exercise to ensure that there is an inquiry to understand the circumstances under which these losses have been incurred and to put in place the remediation measures should go ahead. As I've mentioned, it's okay if they have some internal meetings or committees they want to set up to prepare some preemptory views, which views I believe that they will make available to Parliament when they show up. I know Governor Siama very, very well. He's a man of integrity. He's somebody who appears before Parliament anytime we invite him. And so I suspect that whatever he's doing, when Parliament eventually, hopefully, sets up the committee of inquiry, he will bring all of that information and knowledge to the benefit of Parliament.
Now that they've mentioned a review, it will be a fair presumption to say they suspect something must be amiss, and that's why they are reviewing. Because if it's not broken, why would they be thinking of reviewing, which would lead to fixing? So is that not an assumption that or presumption that they sort of agree that there's something that has to be re-looked at?
With respect, I'm not sure we can work with these assumptions. What if these assumptions are wrong? I'm not a clairvoyant. In the beginning, when we were told of a loss, the bank told us that it's speculative. In fact, there's another matter. You remember when we in the minority suggested that what the bank was doing was that they were intervening in the market with the proceeds from the Gold for Reserves program. The bank told us that they were not doing any such thing. And after we went through a consistent exercise of about 9 months, now they have admitted that they have intervened about $10 billion. Sometimes it takes a while to push before the truth comes out from some of these institutions of state. And so the mere fact that they say they want to review with respect will not dissuade us from the exercise to understand properly what has happened and how, as a country, we can rally together and ensure that it doesn't happen again.
On the second matter, what is wrong if the Bank of Ghana intervenes? Is that not part of the mandate?
I have not even suggested that there's something wrong.
So
what I have suggested is that if that is a strategy, because it comes at a cost, there must be candor that this is what we are doing and this is the cost. When that is being done and it is being denied, then the cost is being hidden. So I cite that as an example, that incident where we started drawing the attention of the government that what is going on is that you are intervening in the market, you are pegging the currency at a rate, you are preventing the market forces from operating, and it will come at a cost. And you will recall that initially they denied it, the president denied it. It took the fund upon our insistence to come in, ask them to halt, put in place a framework. It flipped. Then when they put in place the framework, now they are compelled to announce every month. Indeed, this January, they've now announced that they are going to do another $1 billion from the proceeds of the Gold for Reserves program that the MPP put in place before we left power. That is fine. But while you are doing that, then you also need to account for the cost. Because, for example, all the things that the Bank of Ghana does, it comes at a cost. Even simple open market operations, it comes at a cost. Sterilization, it comes at a cost. If you print currency to buy gold and later you have to sterilize, it comes at a cost. And then there's also the loss and the trade losses as well. So whatever it is you are doing, let there be candor. And then let there also be disclosure of the cost. And if we can put in place remediation efforts, we do so. That is the spirit in which we have been speaking. And it is good that they are internally considering it. Remember when we said it at first, they were denying. Now there's an admission. Now they are saying that they want to do a review. That's fine. Let's get into the details. Let's all understand what the cost is and the remediation measures and the cost so that we can build our nation together.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, sir.
That's Honorable Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. He's MP for Fasia Yerbe. He's a ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee.